Hi, it's Travis White with a Persuasive Communication Tip of the Week. A lot of my clients ask me to help them with their elevator pitch. An elevator pitch is simply a brief message that summarizes what your company does and what are the benefits that the customer might expect to get from doing business with your company. And a lot of my customers want to compress and write all kinds of information into their elevator speech, and they want to answer every possible question. So the who, what, when, why, where, and how questions that you might expect to find in a brochure. Oftentimes that leads to a complicated elevator pitch, and oftentimes that leads to a boring elevator pitch because you're talking about yourself, you're talking about your company, and that's always boring to another person. If you can turn it around and talk to that person and talk about his or her needs or his or her company needs, you can make a much more effective, much more compelling, much more interesting elevator pitch. So let me give you two examples here. First of all, I'll talk about my company, and let's assume my company sells software that helps you use your inventory more effectively. So I might say something like this. We provide very sophisticated software using the latest quantum algorithms to reduce the amount of inventory needed to fulfill a defined set of orders. That's actually a fairly concise statement of what we do. It's also a fairly boring statement of what we do. So let's turn it around. And one of the ways you can turn it around is by using a questioning technique rather than an expository technique. Rather than simply telling, you ask the person, you ask them questions. This will help you qualify that person or that company as well. So let's say instead of what I just read, I ask a couple of questions. Is your company using its inventory efficiently? Or how much do you pay to finance your inventory? The person answers that question and I say, my company provides software solutions that will help you use your inventory more effectively or help you reduce the cost of financing your inventory. That makes it a simpler exchange, and that makes it a human and interpersonal exchange. You're speaking human, you're not speaking software talk, you're not speaking kind of management talk that's quite boring. So think about, do your research, what does the company value? What does the person value? If you're talking to a financial person, you may want to talk about or ask questions about financials. If you're talking to an engineering person, you might want to ask more technical questions. But the idea is to know what the person values, know what the company values, then ask questions about that. Then your response to that question is, my company provides solutions that can help you do that more effectively. So think about a questioning technique as opposed to an expository technique. Think about understanding exactly what the company values and what the person you're talking to values before you launch into your elevator pitch. That's the Persuasive Communication Tip of the Week. See you again next week.